1 year later, Haddonfield has tried to move on after Michael Myers' supposed death. Laurie Strode has published a memoir about trauma and survival. Allison has relocated to Chicago, working in a hospital, seemingly at peace. But locals whisper about shadows in the woods near where Michael died. Children begin reporting sightings of a man with a white face. Halloween is approaching and tension returns to the air. Haunted Haddonfield Sheriff Barker organizes a town-wide curfew for the first time in years. A teenager goes missing near the Myers house ruins, sparking panic. A podcast crew arrives to investigate the lingering evil of Haddonfield. Laurie, trying to distance herself, is drawn back into local paranoia. She attends a town hall meeting where residents demand answers. Allison receives a cryptic phone call. Heavy breathing, then silence. Legacy and Lies Laurie meets with Dr. Mathis, the new head of Smith's Grove Sanitarium. He suggests evil like Michael's isn't born, it's awakened. The missing teen is found, mutilated, mask fragments in his hand. The police are divided, copycat killer or impossible return. Allison starts having night terrors, dreams of Michael in a hospital gown. She returns to Haddonfield pulled by unfinished fears. The mask resurfaces, a box appears at Laurie's doorstep, no return address. Inside, the original scorched Michael Myers mask. Laurie burns it in her backyard, but it reappears in her bedroom. Deputy Frank Hawkins begins his own quiet investigation. He uncovers reports of a vagrant matching Michael's description. A butchered animal is found in a churchyard. Iconic knife left behind. The Imitator, the podcast crew, interviews locals and stirs old wounds. One of them, Mia, becomes obsessed with Michael's psychology. They break into the remains of Smith's Grove to record a true horror episode. They vanish that night. Only Mia's phone is found recording screams. Police find symbols carved into walls. Druidic, cult-like. Laurie suspects the cult of Thorn has returned. Darkness reawakens a man wearing a crude version of the mask attacks a couple on Halloween Eve. He moves awkwardly, unlike the original Michael, but just as brutal. News spreads quickly. The boogeyman is back. Laurie visits the ruins of her old house and finds her memoir defaced. She's stalked by a figure who vanishes as fast as he appears. Frank arrests a mentally ill veteran found near the scene, too conveniently. The Cult of Thorn. Allison investigates the symbols found near the podcast site. She discovers references to ancient rituals to preserve evil. A cloaked figure watches her from a distance. She is attacked in her motel room, but fights off the masked intruder. She sees a new mask, not Michael's, but a hybrid with tribal markings. A thorn sigil is carved into the wall behind her. The Survivors Club, Laurie, assembles a group of survivors from past Halloween attacks. They begin sharing eerily similar experiences, recurring dreams, visions. A survivor from 1978, now in a psychiatric hospital, speaks of a new shape. They believe evil never dies, it evolves. Laurie visits Corey Cunningham's grave. It's been vandalized. She realizes someone is trying to resurrect Michael through belief. Blood on Main Street during Haddonfield's scaled-down Halloween parade chaos erupts. A mass killer stabs several people in broad daylight before vanishing. Security footage is blurry, movement not quite human. Laurie sees a figure watching her from a rooftop, then gone. Frank is injured while pursuing the suspect down alleyways. Laurie is forced to arm herself again. Allison's descent. Allison begins losing grip on reality. Visions of herself in a white mask. She starts seeing Corey in her dreams, whispering, "You belong to the darkness." She returns to the burned house where Michael was last seen. There she finds a shrine made of bones and photos of Laurie. A masked figure approaches her but spares her life. She faints and awakens miles away in her motel room. The hidden sanctuary. Frank discovers an underground bunker beneath the ruins of Smith's Grove. Inside are relics, surgical tools, thorn robes, and journals from Dr. Loomis. One entry mentions evil transferring like a virus. He contacts Laurie, who sees parallels to Allison's condition. Allison visits Michael's old cell. It's still sealed, but scratched from the inside. They find recent blood on the walls. Evil never dies. A local coroner goes missing. His body is found strung in the shape of a thorn. Laurie dreams of her younger self chasing Michael through fire. The original mask reappears again in her home. No one believes her. Laurie realizes this is no longer about Michael. It's about the idea of him. The cult wants to birth a new shape through Allison. Allison begins hearing voices in her head. Michael's and Corey's. Fire and blood, the masked killer attacks the hospital where Allison once worked. Staff are slaughtered. Only one witness survives, claiming he had no eyes. Laurie goes to Allison and pleads for her to fight the darkness. But Allison disappears, leaving only a note, "I understand him now." Laurie and Frank track her to the old quarry where Michael once hid. They find a circle of masked cultists performing a ritual. The return of the shape the ritual is interrupted as the real Michael Myers emerges from the shadows. Burned, older, but unmistakably him, he was never dead. He massacres the cultists, including the new shape. Laurie realizes the imitators awaken the real evil. Michael locks eyes with Allison, but walks away. He's not after her. He wants Laurie one last time. The final stalk, Laurie prepares for her last confrontation, alone in her fortified house. Michael begins killing his way across town, headed straight for her. Frank tries to stop him but is severely wounded. Allison returns, determined to protect Laurie this time. They set a trap using Laurie as bait, this time with fire and iron. Michael arrives, silent and unstoppable. Battle at the Hollow House. The house is rigged with explosives and cages. Michael overpowers Laurie but is wounded by Allison. A brutal fight ensues. Michael stabs Laurie, but she blinds him. Allison pins him under collapsing beams as Laurie pulls the trigger. The house explodes in a fiery inferno. No body is recovered. A town in silence, Haddonfield buries its dead. Again, Laurie is hospitalized, her fate uncertain. Allison tells her, "You saved me." The town removes the Myers house ruins permanently. Halloween is banned for the next 5 years. But children still whisper about the boogeyman. Reflections in the mirror, Allison starts a trauma center for survivors of violence. She sees her reflection in a mirror, wearing the white mask. It's gone, but doubt lingers. A file lands on her desk. Photos from the cult site, one with her face. A masked figure is seen walking outside her building at night. Michael's theme begins to play faintly. Evil evolves elsewhere. A young boy finds a scorched white mask in the woods. He puts it on, just for fun. Suddenly his demeanor shifts. He tilts his head just like Michael. The boy walks into his house and locks the door from the inside. Screams erupt moments later. A new shape is born. Post-credit scene in a hidden room deep beneath Smith's Grove. A prisoner sits alone. He whispers to himself, drawing the thorn symbol in blood. A voice echoes, "It's time." A door creaks open and boots approach slowly. The screen fades to black. Michael's breathing is heard louder than ever.